Hi guys, I should change my name to the most inconsistent YouTuber ever because you guys see me every couple of years, but I am here now. So let's get into how I caught COVID 19. If you see me looking down, I just got my handy dandy notes so that I do not get sidetracked. Let's get into it. So, I am a healthcare worker, mental health to be exact. My job is to teach mentally disabled adults independent living skills. So I do prompting, learn by doing, I administer meds, I keep track of meds, and sometimes I cook because a lot of them don't know how to cook. So that's just my personal purpose because I like cooking for people. So with this particular job, it's 24/7 round the clock here, and there is multiple employees in and out all day. So yeah, that's probably how I caught COVID. So we're going to get into the next snippet. How I caught COVID. I honestly do not know. I thought I was being careful. I was sanitizing everything. When I come into my shift, I will wipe everything down with bleach or whatever cleaner I had available. And when I left my shift, I will wipe down with bleach or whatever I had available. That included spraying almost a full can of Lysol on everything, including myself. I was wearing my mask. I was wearing gloves if needed. I was social distancing because there's always two people on shift. So one person would sit, one side and the other person to sit on the other side. But because we are in these people's houses, there isn't, we're limited to what we can do. So I probably caught COVID, like, during the time where I tried to eat something, or who knows, it probably like jumped in my nose or something. I don't know, but I just know I caught COVID. Okay. And then again, employers, they can't tell you what to do when you're off the clock. So who knows what these people are leaving work and doing, who they're around, if they're even following the same guidelines that they follow at work. So it's really a lot of underlying issues to this virus that the CDC does not tell people. So yeah, it's crazy. I also did not visit my family for the holidays. Today is January 12th. Yeah, January 12th, 2021. I did not visit my family for the holidays because of this virus. I wanted to, do my part by flattening the curve and slowing the spread. So I sent my happy holidays and kept my ass in the house. So that brings me to the next question. How did I know that I had COVID? So around Christmas, like my throat started hurting. Like I'm not gonna say a tickly feeling because that shit did not tickle. It was like that shit hurt. Like it felt like somebody was like touching that little dangly thing in the back of my throat, and they was trying to rip it out my goddamn mouth or something. Like it hurt. So I as you guys may or may not know, I'm into everything natural if I can get it natural as far as like my body goes, not all this. But I gargle with peroxide, salt, and warm water. And that's the remedy that my mama used to do for me when I was little. So the next day, my throat was fine. Like, I was like, okay, cool. But my nose was so congested. It was like I had like a mountain of boogers or something. Like, and you see, I have a very narrow nose. So my sinuses are probably the thinnest things in the world. So anything could block them. So, I immediately went to the store and bought like Sudafed and Mucinex. I started taking like Zicam. I was like buying vapor rub. I was doing neti pots. I was doing whatever I could to get this congestion like out of my nose. And by the 29th, I could no longer smell anything and I could no longer taste. So I was dead in denial. Like I was trying to convince myself that it was nothing but allergies because I've suffered with allergies my whole life. So I was trying to convince myself it was nothing but allergies. So I'm like Googling, like, what is a sinus infection? What are the symptoms of a sinus infection? And it's like, girl, at this point you can't taste or smell. This ain't no sinus infection. But if you Google those symptoms for sinus infection, it is the same thing. So I was trying to blame all the bleach I'm using at work. I'm like, damn it, I done fried something in my nose with all the bleach. Or no, not at all. So like the pressure from my sinuses being so congested, like it caused so much pain, like all in here, like all in my forehead. Like it just hurt so bad. Like, oh my God, that was like the worst pain I ever felt. Like my face hurt so bad. And the pressure from my sinuses was giving me a headache. So it was horrible. Like my head it felt heavy as hell. Like I wanted to take it off my shoulders and just sit it on the couch or something. Like that pressure hurt so bad. That was my only experience like with COVID. The sinus pressure, the loss of taste and smell. I didn't, and the headache from the sinus pressure. I didn't have any respiratory symptoms, but I continued to take the vapor rub. I didn't have a fever. I didn't have body aches. I was moving around fine. Like, I was still fine as far as like body wise. It was just more so the pressure in my face and my nose. And so on January 1st, got off work, coworker calls me and she's like, well, it was the next day, because I don't work weekends, and she's like, hey, you need to go and get tested because I just tested positive. And I'm like, bruh, what? I'm like, you just tested positive. Like, I've been working with her all week, and like, although I was wearing my mask, we still sometimes have to be in close vicinity of each other when the client gets upset or he's escalated and he's, trying to attack. We have to make sure we have each other's back. So I'm just like, oh my god, by now I'm scared. Like, I am spooked. So I find a testing center. I make my appointment. I go get tested January 4th. Now it's like I'm anxious. I'm scared. I'm like, oh my god. Like, I tried to convince myself that I did not have COVID. Like, and then I had people like, saying a little negative stuff. Like, sometimes people think they're joking, but it's like, don't put that negativity in the universe at me or about me. There's power in the tongue. Like, people were like, you would be mad if it came back positive, or how would you feel if it came back positive? Like, don't ask me that, because I don't want to think about that. Like, let's be positive, okay? Like sometimes people really don't think when they say stuff, and they think it's funny, but it's like, no, you're not funny. Like, stick to your day job. So, anyways, back to the point. Get tested January 4th. Get my results by the 5th, but they didn't come till like 1 a.m. So technically it was a 6. Tested positive. My immediate reaction was to cry. When I found out that I was COVID-19 positive, my immediate reaction was to cry. Like, I didn't know what else to do, because I'm just like, oh my god, like, I have a deadly fucking virus. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. So, I was in disbelief. Like, I could not believe it, because I was just like, how did this happen? I've been being so careful. I literally only go to work. I go to the grocery store if it's needed, and I come home. Like, you can ask anyone who knows me. I don't do anything. I turn down party invites. Like, you name it, I was not going if it required me to be around people. Like, it was just total disbelief, because I could not believe that I had contracted this virus, and I felt like I was doing everything right. Then the next emotion that set in was fear. Like, I was scared. Like, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm going to die. I have an underlying medical issue, which is asthma. So I'm just like, who's to say my lungs will be able to handle this? But I was like fortunate, like I have an angel. Somebody was looking out for me, because the only symptom I had was that sinus pressure. Like, I didn't experience anything else. It was just the sinus pressure, nothing else. No fever, no body aches. I didn't have any respiratory issues. Like, I could take a deep breath just fine. Only thing was, like, the sinus pressure made me so sleepy. Like, so I was like sleeping all day, because like the pressure in my face, it just hurt so bad. Like, it was horrible. Like, but and also the support system around me is really what, if you ask me, helped me. Like, I had people bringing me like vitamins. Like, one of my friends, she bought me like a bunch of B1 vitamins, and I already have elderberry and vitamin C vitamins. Like, I take a lot of vitamins every day, so I really feel like ultimately that's also what kind of helped me survive, if you will, because I take a lot of vitamins. I tend to eat fairly healthy. I try to exercise when I can. So it was scary. Like, it was very scary. Like, the waking up not knowing what the next day was going to be like was probably the scariest part, because you're like, I literally documented everything. If I had a change, if something seemed off, I wrote it down in my iPhone notes, just to make sure like nothing happened. But I do believe by the time I had got tested, I was at the ending stages of having the virus, because by like Thursday, I was fine. Like, I could taste again, I could smell, and I'm like, okay, maybe I went too early and the antibodies are still in my system. So today is January 12th, and I do have a test scheduled for tomorrow, which is January 13th. So fingers crossed that I will be negative. No, I'm going to be negative. We're going to claim that, okay? I'm going to be negative. So Yeah, my COVID-19 aftermath, I can't say I gained weight because, like, I don't know if I did or not. I stayed away from the scale. But I will say I have PTSD about going back to work because I feel like I caught this virus at work. And just the fact of going there again, knowing that people are probably still doing the same thing, it is a little scary because it's like you were here when it happened and people don't care. So it's, who's to say what's going to change or if anything's going to change. So, you just develop PTSD all around. Like when I went out the other day to go get some groceries and I was masked up. I had my mask and a face shield on. I had gloves on and I had my can of Lysol and just like I was already a bit of a germaphobe, but now it's worse. So I definitely will probably have to seek therapy because I was already like scared of the virus. Now after catching it, it's like I don't want to leave the house. Like I'm fine in the house. I don't want to leave outside of my house ever again. So yeah, like but I'm like I understand I need money, but it's like is risking my health worth it? Because honestly, working class America is the highest proportion of people that might catch this virus. So it sucks. It sucks a lot. So I mean, I'm thankful that I survived. You'll probably see my comments under multiple YouTube videos of people's COVID-19 experience because I wanted to hear from people. I wanted to see what people went through. Were we having similar experiences or, was everyone different? And everyone's experience with COVID is different. Some people just have the sore throat. Some people just have the cough. All I had was the sinus pressure. Like some people had the full spectrum where they had to be hospitalized. So I was like so grateful that I was able to stay at home and get over this virus and finally freaking take a deep breath and smell the perfume or finally play with my puppy. So it just really was it was a lot mentally, physically, like, and I'm just grateful for the people that were supporting me. I'm grateful for the people here on YouTube who posted their videos and their experiences because I felt ashamed at first. I was ashamed, like, oh my gosh, like you caught this virus. And then it's like the stigma surrounded around COVID is people being careless. People don't care. So I had a moment of being ashamed. Like, okay, you caught this virus and you were one of the main people. Like, people aren't being careful. Put your freaking mask on. And look, you caught it. So I don't know. Like, any questions, leave them in the comments. I hope that, people will continue to share their stories because people want to know. I know I want to know. So I'll probably come back and do a video on if I tested negative and what I'm doing as far as keeping myself COVID free and, wear your mask, drink lots of vitamins, not drink your vitamins, drink orange juice and take your vitamins. If you drink your vitamins, let me know how that goes because that sounds disgusting. And, yeah, bye.